Yo, what is up? Joshua Casper here with another awesome Ableton box. As always, free for download on the blog. Go ahead and rate, subscribe, comment, and share. I always forget to say that in the beginning of the video. But this is going to be on a build-up box, and it's driven by Operator. This is what's inside. It's got an EQ, it's got a Resonator, it's got one of the presets from Ableton for the reverb, and some slightly modified reverb and auto panner, and then I have a pretty crazy EQ on here. And this is what it sounds like out of the box. I've just got one MIDI note in here. It's on a G2. It's extended to about here. And it's fixed inside of Operator, so that doesn't really matter where this note is, but this is what the sound is that we're going to be making. And that's all automatable. You know how fast that frequency is going to happen on the auto pan. The resonator, the attack, the pitch slope, the filter frequency in the operator. Reverb, decay, reverb, dry, wet, you know, the kind of stock stuff there. But it's a really cool rack, and I'm excited to have it, and I'm excited to share it. So let's go ahead and just build it and see what's going on inside of here. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's my operator. I'm going to drop it in. We're only going to use one oscillator on the fixed position, which means it doesn't matter which note you're going to play. It's always going to sound the same. Let's turn it up to 300 kilohertz. That sounds great. We're going to pull it over the attack to I don't know. The attack is going to be different for each build-up that you make. It depends on how long your build-up. Here, my MIDI note is just over 6 seconds, so I want to make it at about 7 seconds, almost 8 seconds there. It's not really that important as long as it goes over here, and that way my MIDI will slowly, the volume of it will slowly increase over the term of this MIDI note. And that's what we want. It slowly gets louder, and that's cool. We want to turn it on noise loop to get it that sound. Pretty cool. We're going to use a filter. We're going to use another the low pass, 24. Something like that sounds pretty good. Your standard white noise type stuff. We're going to use the pitch envelope for sure. We're going to turn it all the way up to 100%, turn the spread up to 50%. We're going to come in here. Again, we want the initial to be -48, the peak to be 48, and we're going to turn the sustain down to -48, and then we're going to turn the decay up here, the attack up here, about the same amount of time. That way the pitch will increase over the same course. So again, we're around 6 seconds, so let's make it at about a little over 7, just to make sure that the pitch is still going to be rising all the way to the end of that note. Pull this down. Cool, that's what we're looking for. And another cool thing too, which I didn't know about until today, is that you see this little blue kind of mark here. If you click on that, it will give you the slope percentage. So if I click and pull this up or down, I can get a different type of slope on this curve, which is just super cool. So here we go. This is a nice little curve. Cool. And you can imagine, you know, just off the top of your head how cool that would be. So that's pretty much the setup for the operator here. And then the next thing I did was dropped an EQ8 on it. to make it sound a little nicer, because it's really muddy right now. It's kind of a flat sound. If we drop an EQ8 on it, we can add a little bit to it, a little bit of character, and get rid of that mud. So I'm going to go with the mid side here, and I'm going to use 2 of these filter types, and I'm going to pull this over. I don't know, about here is good for me. Maybe a little bit less, just to give it a little bit of kick down there. And pull this over and just kind of decrease it over here. I don't know, about like this. And then on the side mode, I'm only going to use 1 and 3. It doesn't matter which ones you use, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to kind of mirror this loop here on the side and just pull this up like this. And I'm going to low cut it even further here. So here's what it sounds like without it. And here's what it sounds like with it. Pretty cool, huh? And the next thing we're going to do is, let's just put on some reverb. And again, this tutorial is going to run around 10 minutes, so I'm going to just use some presets here. And I'm just going to use, I forgot what I used. Bright, long, verb, sweet. And it comes at 100, I'm just going to pull it down and kind of turn up the decay time a little bit. And that will give us a nice little, rolling decay time here of some nice reverb. Sweet. And the next thing I'm going to do is you can put, here you can do anything. You can put a delay on there if you want. I'm going to put an auto pan on there to give it some of that kind of auto pan. Let's come in, let's use Pan Asia. Just turn the, that's pretty cool. I'm going to turn the phase all the way over so it's affecting everything equally. Sorry about that, someone was at the door, but here we go. So this is pretty cool. So you can imagine some automation. You could have some fun with that. And the next cool thing I'm going to do is this Resonator. And there's a bunch of presets in here that I'm going to use. This is a fairly, complicated device, which could be a bunch of tutorials all on our own, but just for the sake of it, I'm going to drop this Los Angeles right after this EQ8. And you can already hear it. It's just a badass device. So then we could come in, Control A to get them all, and go ahead into group. And we can start kind of mapping out the macros. I'm not gonna walk you through this process just to get this video done, but obviously you can download my finished version and kind of see what I decided to map. But you don't have to map those same parameters. But I just thought that was a really cool sound, and you guys might enjoy it. Anyway, I hope you learned something, and we will see you next time.